Hey, welcome back for episode 16 of Pro Audio Deal or Disaster, the series where we look at online listings for pro audio equipment and sound systems and talk about the deals and the asking price.
No, that's no good.
And share stories about the gear if we've used it in the past. And my favorite part of these videos are always the stories you share in the comments below. So if you have any experience with any of the gear, please feel free. I'd love to hear your thoughts. First up, we've got a Soundcraft VI4 with the 400 upgrade. Now, I'm not sure what that upgrade got you, so if you remember, leave it down in the comments below for the rest of us. But this one was listed for $3,500 originally. They've dropped it down to $2,500. It's pulled from an arena install, never toured. Comes with the local rack and the cards that are in the pictures. I think there's the cards there. But there's no stage box or road case. And it comes with a nylon dust cover and is in good working order, pickup only in South Bend, Indiana. What do you think for $2,500 though in 2025? You'd have to buy the stage rack and you're definitely not going to get any more firmware updates. So it's just hard to see consoles of this caliber and what they cost new. If anybody bought one of these new, please let us know what you remember the cost being wherever you are in the world, because the internet's getting harder and harder for me to find that kind of information about discontinued consoles. And you can see here the VI400 firmware running on this. So it has been upgraded, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this because it looks like it's an absolutely clean example of one of these. And yeah, they haven't sold it yet. They're reducing the price. This is a great deal for anybody out near Redmond, Washington. This is for a pair of VAW KF850ZR full range loudspeakers and an SB850 subwoofer, all for $1,000. And we'll read the description here as I scroll through some of the pictures for you. They're saying, for sale is a pair of VAW KF850ZR full range loudspeakers and a single SB850 sub. All are passive and will require external amplification. These are used and show external signs of wear. They were pulled from use 12 plus years ago and have been in storage since. I don't have the amps or cabling to test, but to the best of my knowledge, they are functional and they're selling at a discount due to that. They haven't tested them. You got to purchase all three. And if you've got the cabling and some amps and you want to test them, they're happy to let you do that before you buy them. So they're at a church and they've been out of service for 12 years. So it's not like they pulled these out of a nightclub or something. And yeah, that could be Mars Hill Church there. They even have ID tags on them. And these are EP4 connectors there on the back. So you'd want to convert those probably to something newer like these Neutrik connectors here that they've got on the top boxes. But yeah, what do you think? $1,000 for that set? Would you take the gamble there? Or would you offer them a few dollars less, or maybe show up with some amplifiers and test them right there before you buy them? Let me know what you think on that one. That seems fair to me, though. All right, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this one. This is out of a church in Northbrook, Illinois, and they're asking $10,000, and they say a little further down in the listing that is a $10,000 firm offer price there that they're putting these up for consideration. And they say they are selling a complete JBL professional line array system. Now, whether or not you consider a VRX system to be a professional line array system, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments, because that'll definitely help my engagement on this video. But they're selling 6 VRX 932 LAP powered boxes here, and no extra charge for the XLR connector that's stuck in the input of the first module in this chain here. So that's going to be something you're going to need to remove. And it looks like something either got a hold of this, or this was hung in such a way that it was, resting the majority of the weight of this cabinet on these connectors. And I would imagine that's probably why this is stuck. And I wonder if this input board is gone bad because of that, or in need of some attention anyway. And maybe that's why they are selling them. But let's carry on. All units fully tested, in excellent working condition, well maintained, used in a church environment, ready to fly, ideal for touring venues or houses of worship. $10,000 firm. Now, again, tested in working order, the input to this module has half of an XLR stuck in it. This power con down here looks very not well maintained. So the listing is suspect. Why such a great deal? Let's carry on reading. Current new retail value over $21,800 each speaker. They're counting at 3,200 times 6 plus the frame at 1,300 times 2, and they're offering the entire system for less than half of the new price, only 10 grand total. You pick it up, bought it as you saw it. You know, these look to me like maybe they've been, no, that's probably not been repainted. Those are just finger smudges. I'm not going to say those. I was going to say they look like they've been resprayed, but I think that's just handprints, honestly. I don't know. What do you think about the around the edges here? Do they look like these grills have been just scuffed or maybe resprayed? Hard to tell from photos, really. But yeah, this unit here obviously causes concern, as does this PowerCon input. I don't think they've pictured the array frames for us to actually see in real life, but what do you think? 10 grand? Would you lowball them? Would you avoid it altogether? Do you think a VRX 932 system with 3 aside and no subs is a line array? This is an RCF TT Plus PA system, a TTL 6A and TTS 15A system. So there's 4 of the RCF TTL 6A active 3-way tops, and those are 2x12, 4x6.5 with a 3-inch horn. And those come with custom Cloud 9 covers, which you can see there in this photo. And then you get 12 of the TTS 15A active subs. And let me read the rest of this while I scroll through the pictures. RCF TTL series self-powered PA system, powerful ground stack rigger capable of flying as a line array with inverted tops, RDNet control monitoring and local presets, individual 15-inch subs for maximum punch and flexibility for cardioid use, as well as splitting into multiple systems. Excellent condition, light wear on the tops. Subs have always ridden on the dollies and always well taken care of, and that sure looks to be true. Everything in these photos looks really nice and clean and tidy for the most part. He goes on to say, great rig selling as I've changed production focus and only need a rental PA a few times a year. Would happily rent this rig when needed if it stays local to southern Wisconsin. Asking $50K or best offer, and they will consider splitting up the system depending on the breakdown and your interest. The dollies that are pictured, not included, but are up for discussion, and would also consider a term or some fixed installation rental. So somebody that's looking to put this into a single location on a long-term basis is what I'm guessing they mean there. So that's really cool. They seem to be very flexible and staying in the business, so they're willing to work with somebody that's serious. So it says, give them a shout, contact them with any questions and offers, and they're located near Milwaukee, and they can ship it and deliver it depending on the deal. So very, very well listed and well maintained. I'm not up on pricing on the used RCF stuff, but if you own one of these systems or are familiar with what this stuff goes for, let me know what you think of the deal. But overall, it looks really nice and clean, and this seller seems to be very reasonable and motivated to put together a good deal for you. So pretty cool to see that. $50K or best offer. What do you think? All right, we got one more in the I'm not sure it's really a line array category, and this time it's QSC. We've got an LA112 line array full PA for sale, marked down to $35,000 from $40,000 in Anderson, Indiana. And this is a full PA system with mics, stands, cases, all the cords, audio snakes, sub snakes, wireless mics, LED lighting with trussing and stands, DI boxes. Too much to list. All purchased in the last 3 years. That's pretty cool. All gear and consoles and stage boxes are in prestige condition. I think that might be pristine is what they were looking for there. Used 1 to 2 gigs a month. Would make a great house system for any church or music venue. Message me for a list of all the gear and questions. Only selling as a whole system, will not sell separate items. So you get 4 of the QSC KS118 subs, 4 of the LA112 tops, 7 K10.2. They're using them as wedges, so that's pretty cool. K10s are always handy. 1 Yamaha TF3 mixer, a Yamaha 1608 D3 stage box, 2 of those, 2 1608 stage boxes, and then 1 Touch Mix 30 that we saw in a photo there a moment ago. And then in microphones, we're looking at 2 D6s from Audix, 3 of the EV ND66s, 1 Sennheiser E904, 6 E604s, 1 E906, 1 E609, 3 SM57s, 1 Beta 91A, 1 Audix i5, 3 Sennheiser E835, 1 E945, 2 ND96, 2 MD421, that's pretty cool, 1 E965, 3 945S wireless mics, 1 KSM 9 wireless mic, so premium or prestige wireless mic there. 2 large LED light trusses, 2 large LED light trees with trussing, and 2 small LED light trees. Road cases with dozens of XLR cables, 2 cases of various boom stands and mic stands, DI boxes, much more items to start your own sound company or just add to it. All of the equipment is in pristine working condition, in mint working condition. Ask any questions, Anderson, Indiana. So yeah, let me know what you think. $35,000 sounds like a lot to me, but I'm not really sure what those LA112s go for. But yeah, kind of a wedding band PA system. Yeah, 35 grand feels like a lot. I'd have to really sit down and think about that, but yeah, I'm not really sure how we're getting to $35,000 unless all this lighting is a lot more expensive than I realize. But again, all the road cases, everything's only 3 years old. It's a clean looking system. Certainly looks like you could just roll all this right into a trailer or box truck and head down the road to your next wedding gig. So yeah, it's a significant chunk of money for a party band or a small sound company to break off for all of this QSC gear. I'd be interested to know if anybody that's bought a sound system in the last couple of years of this kind of size or scope, what you got and what you spent, if it was in this range. I think you could do better for $35,000, but that's just me and how I like to do things. Maybe this is somebody's dream PA system, and if that's the case, Anderson, Indiana, check it out. I had to throw this one in there just because I was so impressed by the way they have this set up. Not that I would ever want to move it, but they've gone to the trouble of putting their entire PA system from amplifiers up to the mixer in one tall rack, which must have been an absolute bear to wrestle in and out of whatever venues they were playing. But I can only imagine they did that because there was such limited space in the venue that it made sense for them to go tall and probably have this on stage somewhere with them rather than break it up into multiple cases, although they do have, and they are offering some additional cases to break the system down for smaller events. And yeah, $1,500 in stock for all the cases, Mackie mixer, Furman, power strip, some old rack gear otherwise, and some speakers. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. I can only imagine, having worked in a retail environment selling this kind of gear in this era, I can only imagine that this was done out of necessity, and they probably tilted this into the back of a pickup truck or something to get in and out of the gigs. So yeah, fun stuff back before digital made half of this rack at least redundant. Thanks for sticking around for the whole video, and I always ask folks to please send me any listings that you come across in the wild that you think would be good for a future episode. And recently some folks have done that, but when I open the links are dead, or the listing's gone, or it's been sold or taken down or what have you. So if you find something in the future, be sure to grab some screenshots and then reach out to me either in the comments here or on social media or on the about page here. You should be able to find my email and get a hold of me there. And thanks so much for sticking around. I'll see you very soon with more videos. I've really been struggling to get this one wrapped up. I've been super busy the last few months, but more videos coming soon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for your support. Talk to you in the next one.